have Her Excellency Aminath, Shauna, Minister of Environment, Climate Change and Technology. You have a very wide-ranging portfolio, including dealing with one of the existential threats to the Maldives, that is climate change. Last year, we heard President Ibrahim Salih stating that Maldives could achieve net zero emissions as early as 2030 with the necessary technical and financial support from the international community. So we very much look forward to your remarks. Your Excellency, floor is yours.
Thank you. And it's a really great pleasure to be here. Distinguished ministers, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and a very good afternoon. And it's like Dr. Mausum and Education Minister has also said, it's really a pity that we cannot all be together. It's certainly very difficult times and one of the most challenging times of in anything that we have seen before as well. I'd like to first of all thank the organizers of Diplomatic World for inviting me, and not just that, but bringing us all together to have a discussion on something so important and something that has really magnified the importance of this during these challenging times. The COVID-19 pandemic is in fact a global shock like no other, and with far-reaching consequences to every aspect of our lives. And we must also not forget that climate change is still an ever-present problem for us all. And the science is very clear and the evidence is there. The world's climate system is undergoing an exponential change, and the consequences, therefore, will also be catastrophic, not just on small island states, but I think the impacts of it is very clear in much larger countries as well. And the effects of climate change, as I said, is not just a threat to low island nations, but the vulnerabilities are very apparent in all coastal regions, and it has spread to other sectors as well, such as agriculture, fishing, even tourism as well. So really glad to be here to discuss this topic. And when we talk about this, I'd like to bring the story of the Maldives as well to your attention. Over the past years, over 90% of the islands have reported flooding annually. 97% have reported shoreline erosion. 64% of the islands are experiencing severe erosion. This is catastrophic, as nearly 50% of all our housing structures are also within just 100 meters and from the shoreline. And it is not just our homes and infrastructure that is in jeopardy, but our economic well-being and is also severely threatened. Therefore, we really understand the importance of building resilience while also achieving sustainable development. And these are not two things that we can separate from each other, and this have to be we have to carry this out in parallel, and we don't have much time left, unfortunately. And this is why for us addressing climate change is not just a matter of an environmental issue, but also a development issue that has also become almost a human rights perspective as well, because if you think about the Maldives and the impacts of climate change, it almost feels like the Maldives will be uninhabitable before the impact of sea level rise might result in complete inundation of the island nation as well. We're talking about access to clean water, we're talking about access to resources, food security as well. So these are issues that really matters our existence, our survival. The president has just 2 weeks ago ratified the Climate Emergency Act, which calls for a framework to work towards achieving net zero emissions by 2030. As Dr. Mausum highlighted as well, we are working towards achieving net zero emissions by 2030, given the support of international community as well. We no longer want to just be victims of climate change, but we also want to be victors, and we want to say if a country like the Maldives can do it, the entire world can do it as well. We are currently targeting, and we hope that larger countries will commit to more ambitious targets to bring down global emissions. And we reach 1.5 degrees. And the upcoming COP climate change negotiations will really be an important time for us to come together and ensure that we really we can really make a difference in terms of bringing change. I mean, if we can really fix the ozone hole, why can't we fix what's happening in terms of global climate change and rising temperatures? Despite the challenges we face, the fact that the Maldives contributes only 0.003% of global greenhouse gas emissions, we are really determined to show leadership and continue to advocate for more effective and bold climate actions to address the climate emergency that we face. While the impacts of climate change are heightened, especially for vulnerable island nations such as ours, no nation is really immune from this anymore. Therefore, this is a planet-wide challenge. We cannot be tackled by one nation alone. This requires collaborations and commitments from all nations, especially for vulnerable countries, to enhance our climate actions and to achieve a more sustainable, resilient, and low emissions future. Let us work together and to make this goal a reality. Once again, I really would like to offer my sincere thanks to the diplomatic world for the opportunity to contribute at this dialogue, and I wish you all a very fruitful discussions. And again, it's really a shame that we can't be all together, but I think this really highlights how important it is for us to come together and discuss this important topic, regardless of where we are. Climate change is an issue that affects regardless of where our borders are. So it's a transnational issue that we all need to work together. And I'm really glad to have had this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for this very powerful message, and I hope all the issues you have raised will be at the forefront of negotiations during the all-important COP26 climate summit later this year.